In today's video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming storms and the upcoming temperature pattern. We do have some big risks at severe weather moving forward, and also some big temperature flips. Obviously, we're very warm in the east as we're seeing a big warm up happen. There is cool downs again coming up in the near future, so we need to talk about all of those things. Now I'm going to tell you guys about my business, brand new business, Trilogy Maps, in just a minute, and then we're going to get into the video. Quickly, I want to tell you about my other business that I've launched, trilogymaps.com, where we have the highest definition, most customizable digital maps available on the internet, perfect for creating the best weather forecast. And I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret here. As of today, if you use the discount code DIRECT in checkout, you will get 33% off your entire order. That's a third of the price. You cannot beat it, so be sure to check it out today in the description and pinned comment down below. Anyway, here we are taking a look at things, and as you can see already just today on Sunday, May 7th, we actually have quite a bit of thunderstorm activity developing across a lot of the deeper south and areas here in the Ohio Valley, as you can see, from Missouri through Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. As we can see near the Great Lakes, both in Canada and the United States there, we are seeing thunderstorms as well. Now, at the same time, we do see also some more wintry weather taking place across the Northwest here. Snowfall, rainfall, it's mixed in, but we're definitely seeing some different areas see this more wintry type of weather, which, again, I've mentioned it in previous videos. This is rather normal for these areas to still be seeing this snowfall. I know for people in the east, this just seems crazy, but it is quite typical. Now, as we move on towards Monday, the 8th here, tomorrow from the time I'm making this video, you can see that we see a lot of this thunderstorm activity actually moving into some of the mid-Atlantic and southeast here. My home area, I always tend to kind of focus a little bit more on that area just because that's where I'm at. I hope you guys can understand that. I do kind of point it out a little extra just because it's actually going to happen where I'm at, so it excites me just a tiny bit more than the rest of the nation. But overall, weather just makes me very excited. We could see that here in the Northwest, California, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, we're still seeing this wintry weather taking place, so this is not slowed down, and we're still seeing this storminess kind of progressing and still taking hold of this area. Now, by Tuesday here on May 9th, we can still see a lot of these storms are still over these areas. And also for coastal Texas here, very heavy rainfall is actually taking place there along that coast of Texas, an area that averages very high amounts of precipitation through the year. They are going to be seeing a lot here over the next couple of days. The jet stream is pretty interesting by this point, as we're getting much closer to a summery type jet stream. We do see these areas of wintry temperatures taking place at times, but overall this is trending in a much warmer direction for the entire nation, not just pattern wise but just time of year wise. We do see a low developing there near New Mexico and Colorado here. By the time we're reaching Wednesday midday, I would say by May 10th here, we could see this cold front, sort of cold front looking development and sort of warm front looking development there. It's a lot of sort ofs, but we do see that taking place. Likely thunderstorms isolated and scattered throughout this entire region, very, very widespread throughout this region. So we're going to see those scattered about. Then by the time we're reaching Thursday, we do see that this storm does actually make some advancement. It's moving towards the Oklahoma panhandle here. And we do see that this is developing a very interesting warm front, cold front dynamic. You can tell that this storm, while it's not very strong in intensity, it is actually leading towards quite a bit of just widespread precipitation here. Look at how large this storm is. Definitely impacting many different areas, and it's pretty stationary. It's maybe moving back west a little bit, or at least transitioning back west a little bit and to the south a bit, and we're still seeing this kind of cold front look, warm front look, with some thunderstorms extending further east than even that cold front. So this is leading towards very stationary and repetitive weather by this point. It starts to finally spread a bit by the time we're taking a look at Sunday, and this is going to be the 14th of May. We do see some thunderstorms and showers throughout this area with that kind of phase of energy that is kind of just moved off of the main low. The main low has weakened, but we do still see some storminess where that is on Sunday the 14th. And then by Monday the 15th here, what's interesting is we get this precipitation spread throughout both coasts, the Gulf and the East. I guess that kind of implied the West and the East, but no, the Gulf Coast and the east coast here, seeing plenty of storminess, and we can tell that definitely a ridge has developed here over the west, and a trough is trying to move into the east here. This would obviously be very mild compared to what we would see in months like April, March, February, but this is certainly going to be bringing some cooler air than what we've been seeing. But we can see some storminess building in back for the west. While there is warm temperatures, this usually encourages a colder trend in the temperatures, which eventually should lead towards warming again for the east, even though we have this major trough in place. So I can tell you that that is probably what's going to happen after this point. We do see this major trough over the east coast here, definitely bringing cold air to these areas. Now, total precipitation here, as we can see, this activity really slows down out west until the very, very end of that model run there. By the time we're reaching about Tuesday, Wednesday, 16th, 17th time frame there of May. So after the midway point of the month, that is what we're going to be seeing. And we see a lot of this kind of stationary activity in here, bringing tons of precipitation to the middle of the country. And then we see this extension of this where it's going to kind of shoot off some more minor storms that extend off of it, and that is going to be reaching this kind of middle portion of the nation. Total snowfall here does look a little bit less than we've seen before over the past couple of model runs, and that's likely because we're seeing it slow down with the time of year, obviously. We do see still about a foot to 2 feet here over the Rockies for some of those very high elevation areas, but outside of that, it's maximum maybe 6 to 10 inches for some of those purples and pinks we see for other states. This is slowing down significantly, as should be expected, as we're approaching the midway point of the month of May, and we are going to see this continue to slow down until it dwindles to nothing eventually. It's pretty depressing unless you just hate snow for some reason. I'm kind of tired of it, obviously, right now at this time of year, but for the most part, it is just depressing to see it really just ramp down, and then we are going to see this appear again for probably August, September time frame, usually September, but sometimes in very late August, you can see very, very, very minimal amounts of snowfall for some of these high elevation areas. It's pretty rare though, but September is more common, and then sometimes it's even October. It's going to depend, but we'll get there when we get there. No need to rush anything. I think everybody's kind of ready for the spring and summer and early fall time of year, the very nice, active, warm time of year. I certainly am. I'm looking forward to it. The temperature pattern here, as I mentioned before, we're dealing with this warm up in the east right now. Trough in the west, warm up in the east here. We're seeing something like this really taking hold, and then this big trough out west is the most primary thing we're seeing here. Now, by the time we're reaching about Wednesday the 10th here, we see this still negative P&A along the west coast of North America there, and probably even extending down to Central America, as you can see, very far south. There. Now we can see this kind of block in the middle, this very big warm up, and then we see a backdoor cold front lead towards some cold air there for the east as well. We pretty quickly progress to where we're still seeing a warm up here in the east, and actually we get kind of the opposite of that pattern we saw a second ago, where there's warm here, and then kind of a trough in the middle, so we get that kind of reverse. But what ends up happening is we get this cool down in the east that we were talking about, and we get the unseasonably cold temperatures for most of these areas. This is at the same time that we see a lot of storminess in here as well. So it's going to be wet, it's going to be cold, and it's going to be definitely unseasonable. But we do see this very, very, very big warm up here for the west, where they're dealing with just this very intense warm air again. We've seen some of that in recent weeks and months. And then we progress towards the 22nd of May here, but we're still kind of left with these areas being primarily colder and these areas here being primarily warmer. The one thing I will say is this has kind of moved off of the west coast and shifted more towards the central states and central Canada. That's likely the beginning of this cold being able to intrude here, bring in negative P&A, and eventually warm this area up here in the east. So that should be the movement that we see here after the 20th. We've been pretty accurate using these models, actually, that we frequently use to predict these long-range temperature shifts. So hopefully this stays the same here on this European ensemble model that has done so great with these long-range kind of predictions. So we're going to just stay tuned with this. Again, be sure to check out the pinned comment and description for the trilogy maps if you do want to make the best highest definition weather maps. I mean, they really are incredible. Also, be sure to subscribe. We do upload every single day. We're going to continue to walk you guys through this pattern. You also hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Also, be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.